Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. This is an art collage novel video. I made this series so you guys can experience the story faster. The video will focus on the character's psychology, the images are for illustration purposes only. Many 7-leaf elites in the world knew the basic fact that an 8-leaf cultivator was as big as Mount Tai. Even the people of Roli and Lulan knew this. When they saw the 100-foot avatar, their intention to kill Yuan'er vanished without a trace. Impossible. Even if an 8-leaf cultivator was here, he could only run as soon as he heard Yuan'er's name. Here they were, without an 8-leaf cultivator among their numbers. The outcome was predictable. It was a crushing defeat for them. Wherever the energy swords went, they did not seem like they were cutting down people. They seemed like they were cutting down, hay. Young Zhenghai was stunned by this sight. Nobody knew how much he thirsted for power or how strongly he wanted to become an expert like the person before. He did as Yuan'er ordered him to. He stood obediently in place as the energy swords danced and the Rulians fell all around him. A moment later, Yuan'er returned to his original spot. He looked at young Zhenghai as though nothing had happened. He raised his left hand, and his longevity sword returned to its scabbard and back in his embrace. The battle had ended just like that. The trees and plants within 100 meters were felled by Yuan'er. The chilly breeze brought with it a metallic stench that seemed to linger in the air. It prickled Zhenghai's newly formed sense of smell. "Are you afraid?" Yuan'er asked. He was used to this, so it did not affect him at all. Young Zhenghai shook his head to show that he was not afraid. That was beyond Yuan'er's expectations. Perhaps, Zhenghai had endured many hardships, so he knew when he should feel afraid and when he should not. "Your sword techniques are amazing," young Zhenghai said. "I think so, too. Since you're my senior brother. Can you teach me how to use the sword?" Yuan'er shook his head lightly and replied with a straight face. "You're not suitable for the sword." "What suits me then?" "A saber," Yuan'er said. When he heard this, young Zhenghai beamed. He asked, "How did you know that I like sabers?" "Sabers are cool. A man's strength can only be manifested by using a saber." Yuan'er successfully bit back a retort. He closed his eyes indifferently and entered his resting state. Young Zhenghai stood at the side. He toyed around with the branch. He gripped it with both hands and made slashing motions. Bam. 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 Young Zhenghai struck a tree stump with the branch. His strength was not something a youth his age should possess. He said, "I'll surely become as powerful as you." "I hope so." It was unknown if Wookieans could recultivate after they were resurrected. Any possible side effects of the resurrection were also unknown. It was slightly too early to be talking about cultivation right now. After they had rested, Yuan'er brought young Zhenghai with him and continued eastward. 5 days later, in a bamboo forest east of Roli. The long journey had worn young Zhenghai out. He could barely walk. He was already at his limits after having held out for so long. The two of them traversed vast deserts, winding mountain paths, and seas of clouds. When they landed among the bamboos, Zhenghai lay down at once. "I can't go any further." "You have no choice but to walk." They only rested briefly. Yuan'er heard something flying toward them above the bamboo forest. He stood up and moved his hand. A few vines flew over, picking Zhenghai up, and brought him to his side. His movements were neat and precise. He placed one hand on his back as the vines wound around his waist several times. His back was straight and his expression was calm as he walked out of the bamboo forest. Then, he drew the longevity sword and lifted it before an energy sword shot out. It cut through some bamboo and hit the cultivator above the bamboo forest. Every time Yuan'er swung his sword, a cultivator fell. He did not even have to look, he kept his eyes trained ahead. At this moment, a figure dove toward him at blinding speed. At the same time, a 6-leaf Wolf King avatar merged with that figure as he crashed through the bamboo forest. The wolf pounced while baring its fangs. The figure wielded sharp blades in both hands as he aimed for Yu Shangrong's face. His movements were as quick as lightning. Yu Shangrong joined his palms together. His longevity sword was held between his hands. An energy sword suddenly expanded and wrapped around his longevity sword. It dropped down like a guillotine at lightning speed as well. In just a split second, the Wolf King avatar was cleaved into two, falling to the left and the right. The cultivator in the middle of the avatar shared the same fate. The battle ended. Once again, panicked cries rang in the air. He's not a six-leaf cultivator. Retreat. Change of plans. Run. The remaining cultivators fled to the west. Yu Shangrong carried Yu Zhenghai with an indifferent expression on his face as he continued on his journey. He stepped out of the forest and rose into the air. He looked to the side. Young Yu Zhenghai was fast asleep. The rogue western wind blew across the river. When was it going to return? On Liang Province city's walls. Si Wuya faced Roly. He seemed to be lost in his thoughts. At this moment, Zhang Jian leaped up and sat on the city wall. Are you sure your men are fine? They've crossed Heaven's Moat and formed a garrison at the north of Great Yen. If Lu Lan's forces place a grand formation there, it'll be difficult to breach. I trust those I employ and won't employ those I don't trust. I believe in them, Si Wuya replied. Breach? Zhang Jian shook his head. You can attack all you want, but I'm going to make things clear. I'm only helping you with defending. Offense is the best defense. Zhang Jian spread his hands. He shook his head and said, Can I object to this plan? You can, but it's futile. I can't stand you guys. Zhang Jian was speechless. He said with a sigh, At the end of the day, I'm still Great Yan's third prince. How can I sit back and do nothing while the other tribes invade my lands? Just tell me, when? I'll do everything in my power to help. Tonight. Can I take back what I just said? No. Inside Dajing Palace in the Divine Capital. After so many days, Lu Zhou's heavenly writing power had already been replenished several times over. In the meantime, he kept attempting to expand the limits of the power of hearing. He had practically memorized the incantation for the power and mastered its use. He opened the system dashboard again. Merit points, 66,203. The added merit points were from Yu Shangrong. Lu Zhou looked at his merit points and shook his head. He wondered how Yu Zhenghai was faring now. That rascal. Will it kill him to write back? After pondering for a moment, Lu Zhou opened the list of items and said, Purchase Golden Lotus Leaf. Ding. Spent 50,000 merit points. Obtained, Golden Lotus Leaf X1. Initially, he wanted to use it immediately. When he remembered the item cards would increase in price whenever his cultivation base improved, he spent another 10,000 merit points and purchased a Deadly Strike card. He would save it as his final trump card. After purchasing it, he finally said, Use Golden Lotus Leaf. Shortly after, the item card dissolved into spots of starlight that swirled around him. They eventually gathered around his Dantian Sea of Qi. The tidal wave of power rose and churned like waters of the sea. The surging primal Qi burst forth and grew in his Dantian Sea of Qi like an incoming tide. At the same time, his heart and mind were at peace. The minute sounds of the breeze around Dajing Palace were clearly brought to his ears. Above Dajing Palace, the clouds parted. Primal Qi wreaked havoc and swiftly gathered around Lu Zhou. At this moment, Zhu Tianyuan was supporting Zhu Honggong's weight. They were in Dajing Palace's vicinity. When they saw the surging primal Qi, they were shocked. My son, Dajing Palace is in trouble. Zhu Tianyuan was shocked. Stay calm. Zhu Honggong pulled Zhu Tianyuan. He bit back his pain and earnestly said, You're new here so you don't know about this. Whenever you encounter something like this, you must keep quiet and lay low. My son, you're too green. Someone's sprouting a leaf. Perhaps, it's your senior. You should go and learn from them. Zhu Tianyuan said. You're green. Trust me. Don't go looking for trouble. Is this how you should talk to your father? I've been around far longer than you. Zhu Tianyuan put on the air of a senior and said. It's only someone sprouting a leaf. There's nothing to it. Your old man and old villain G go way back. I can even watch him sprout a leaf, let alone his disciples. Boom. A clap of thunder rang from Dajing Palace. Scram. To gain the power of speech recognition, even about unspeakable truths, and understand the words spoken by the tongues of beings in different worlds. A clap of thunder rang in the air before the power of speech was released. It was focused and powerful. The blue heavenly writing extraordinary power struck Zhu Tianyuan and Zhu Honggong. They were sent reeling, drawing an arc in the air, before they crashed on the ground. Ouch. Zhu Honggong's previous wounds had not healed yet, and yet, he was further injured. He wailed in pain as his face was drenched in cold sweat. Despite being shocked, Zhu Tianyuan was in a better state. He hastily helped Zhu Honggong to his feet and limped toward Zhenghai Palace. When they entered Zhenghai Palace, the duo heaved a sigh of relief. They patted their chests. I'm begging you, don't drag me down with you. If you weren't here, I'd be like a fish in water. I was doing great. Now that you're here, it's as though I'm cursed with bad luck. I'm violating rules at every turn, Zhu Honggong pleaded. Zhu Tianyuan wiped the sweat off his face. After calming down, he said, that was an accident. I didn't expect the relationship we had to mean nothing to him. The men of today are degenerates. My son, why don't you think about coming back with me to the ancient saint cult and take over the position of holy master? You'll never be in want. You might even be able to give me a cute and plump grandson. In any case, it would be better than being beaten up here every day. Forget it. Don't try to trick me. Something that good will never happen to me. Zhu Honggong did not believe Zhu Tianyuan. When he was taken away, Jiangpu had said that someone was coveting the ancient saint cult. Trying to deceive me? Fat chance. Do you really think that I can't use my brain? No way. I'm your father. A father won't lie to his son. Thud. 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 Someone knocked on the door. A solemn expression appeared on Zhu Tianyuan's face as he opened the door. He saw two little girls curiously peeking into the room. He asked, puzzled, you are? Eighth senior brother. Little Yuan and Kong greeted Zhu Honggong in unison. Zhu Honggong replied, hello, junior sisters. Zhu Tianyuan said, oh, you're my son's junior sisters. We're here to see eighth senior brother. If there's anything you need, just tell us, little Yuan said. In that case, fetch a basin of water to wash Zhu Honggong's feet, Zhu Tianyuan said. He could not order Zhu Honggong's seniors around, but it should not be a problem to order Zhu Honggong's juniors around since juniors should respect their seniors. There was nothing wrong with asking his son's juniors to fetch over a basin of water for his son to wash his feet, right? Moreover, this was how the juniors showed respect to their seniors in the ancient cult sect. Naturally, the older members would also look after the younger members. Yes, they got along well. Zhu Honggong. Little Yuan frowned slightly. She pointed at herself, me? Yes, go. Zhu Tianyuan waved his sleeve. Don't forget to bring some desserts as well. I've never tasted the desserts in the palace before. I'd like to have some. No, no, no. Don't listen to him, little junior sister. Thud. Zhu Honggong hastily got off the bed and crawled to the door. Little junior sister, I don't need water for my feet. Zhu Tianyuan. My son. What are you doing? You're the senior brother. Go back and rest. Zhu Honggong felt like crying as he said, I'm begging you, please leave. Stop making things worse for me. I'm serious. Little Yuan said, eighth senior brother, are you sure you don't want it? Yes. Zhu Honggong said seriously. Rest well, then. If you need anything, just tell me. I'll have third senior brother fetch some water for you. Then, little Yuan pulled Kong out and skipped away from Zhenghai Palace. Zhou Tianyuan was feeling slightly dizzy. Why is the hierarchy so messed up here? He turned to look at his son, Zhu Honggong, and saw his son glaring at him as though he was an enemy. Get lost. Inside Dazheng Palace. Lu Zhou gauged the changes of the primal qi in his body. Ever since he lost his cultivation base after transmigrating here, his lifespan had been limiting the progress of his cultivation base. Before this, the progress he had from cultivating on his own was pitiably slow. He had to purchase avatars directly from the system. After reversing his life for 100 years, he regained more of his physical abilities. He decided that he should increase his pace and return to the peak as soon as he could. Lu Zhou had a feeling that the tide of the Lotus Severing era was about to change. He had to reach the real 9-leaf stage as quickly as he could. He raised his palm and summoned his avatar. 5 lotus leaves swirled around his avatar. Shortly after, radiant rings slid down from its waist. Its energy grew stronger as well. Poof! A leaf appeared on the side of the golden lotus. The 6th leaf had finally sprouted. This meant that his cultivation base had successfully entered the 6-leaf nascent divinity realm. Lu Zhou nodded in satisfaction. He clenched his hand, and his avatar disappeared. The golden radiance disappeared as well, restoring the interior of the palace to its original colors. Lu Zhou stood up and gauged the changes in his body. His instincts told him that he would certainly have good luck if he tried a lucky draw right now. Lucky draw. Ding. Spent 50 merit points. Thank you for participating. Luck +1. I'm not angry. Again. Lucky draw. Ding. Spent 50 merit points. Thank you for participating. Luck +2. Lu Zhou stopped. He was not angry. Truly. A great philosopher once said that one should not be flustered whenever one encountered difficulties. One should remain calm. If one smiled as one stared into the abyss would also. Forget it. Lu Zhou decided to take a stroll outside before attempting the lucky draw again. At the same time, in a valley 10,000 miles away from Heaven's Moat in the north, Yu Shangrong placed young Yu Zhenghai on the ground. Although his cultivation base was profound, he was feeling the strain of rushing throughout their journey. Not only did he have to maintain a high speed while flying, but he also had to shield another person with his energy. After they landed, Yu Shangrong sat down with his legs crossed, adjusted his breathing, and rested. Young Yu Zhenghai opened his eyes at this moment. Where are we? A valley in eastern Roli, Yu Shangrong replied with his eyes closed. How long before we reach Great Yen? Half a month. So long? Yu Shangrong opened his eyes. With a faint smile on his face, he said, if you had your cultivation base, it'd only take us half the time. Alas. Young Yu Zhenghai looked down at his palms and mumbled, cultivation base. Yu Shangrong smiled knowingly. Then, he closed his eyes and quickly recovered his primal qi and stamina. Young Yu Zhenghai called out tentatively, senior brother? Speak. Yu Shangrong's eyes were still closed. He reveled in being addressed as senior brother by Yu Zhenghai. Why don't you return on your own? Although Yu Zhenghai had been reverted to the time of his youth and lost his cultivation base, he was warier of strangers compared to the ordinary person. If I leave, you'll surely die, Yu Shangrong said. No, I won't. Don't try to act tough. This isn't a human settlement. This isn't a place where you can act tough. Look. A flying beast flew above the treetops. Its tail was slender, its beak sharp, and its eyes gleamed with electricity. It resembled a gigantic mutated owl. When he saw this monster, young Yu Zhenghai frowned. His palms turned sweaty. Nevertheless, his reaction was calmer compared to his peers. This was a rare quality. When the flying beast drew close to them, it did not slow down and disappeared into the horizon. Yu Shangrong stood up and said, let's be on our way. Young Yu Zhenghai got to his feet. With Yu Shangrong's help, the two of them rose into the air and flew away from the valley. 3 days passed by in the blink of an eye. The end of the valley lay before them. Zhenghai looked at the receding forest as he asked, "How long will it take for me to have a cultivation base like yours?" "A long time," Zhenghai replied. That was stating the obvious. However, Zhenghai dared not say it out loud. Instead, he continued with another question, "Can I attain it?" "You can." Zhenghai could not be blamed for his curt replies. This was because Zhenghai had been relentless with his questions throughout their journey. "I think so too," Zhenghai said confidently. Zhenghai looked at the exit before them and said, "There's a 10,000-foot deep abyss 5 miles ahead. Hold on tight." Zhenghai felt nervous. 5 miles was not far for a cultivator. However, just as the duo was about to leave the valley, the sky darkened. Then, purple radiant circles began to appear on the ground.